Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men, women, and children, to another Pokemon Online battle. It's just a little quick match that I've got for you guys today. As you can see, I'm using a PU team. I got dual screeners and lots of offensive pokes and a Lopunny. The Lopunny, pretty good. It's non-attacking, switcheroo, all that shenanigan stuff, and he's got some pretty decent NU pokes, I guess. He's got Golem and Wartortle and a very reliable spinner, and without further ado, let's just get on with this battle. So you can see I am leading off with Swoobat, and he's leading off with his Golem. I'm just going to taunt it to block whatever hazards it tries to set up, and that happens. So right now he's pretty much shut down, and he switches out into Shedinja as I set up a Reflect. Even if he did go for a Rock move there, I could have just bounced it off with a Reflect and kind of shrugged away the damage. So now I taunt this Shedinja and block it from setting up a Swords Dance, and now I just send in my Seismitoad as he sends in his Ampharos. Seeing that he's in a bad matchup, he sends in his Shedinja, and as I go for the Stealth Rock, so he really can't switch out the Shedinja unless he spins away the rocks with his Wartortle. But now, as he goes for the Swords Dance, I Toxic it and take it straight out, because most Shedinjas I see typically carry Focus Sash as opposed to the more reliable Lumberry. So now, his Golem comes back in another attempt to set up the rocks, but I just Scald it and it goes down in one hit KO because of ×4 effective hits. So now, his Grumpig is going to use the Energy Ball, and that is another ×4 effective hit on this Seismitoad as I use the Toxic on that Grumpig. So, since another Energy Ball is kind of obvious, he can't really kill off this Seismitoad with anything else, I'm just going to switch back out into Swoobat to resist the hit, but instead he goes for the Thunder Wave, predicting the switch very nicely, since it was a bit obvious. So now my Swoobat is kind of crippled. He can't outspeed things and taunt things very reliably anymore, but he can still set up the screens, and I'm just going to set up the Reflect and get out of there as his Wartortle spins away the rocks on his side of the field on my Octillery. So, since this is Expert Belt Octillery, I'm going to go for the Energy Ball, but it doesn't do anything as he switches in Grumpig back in, since Grumpig does have very respectable special defense. So now he's going to use the Heal Bell and cure himself of the poison as I go for the Surf. And Surf does not do anything at all to Grumpig, since it does have that bulk. And this Energy Ball is going to get a crit on my Octillery, take it down to 15% HP, and it is inevitably going to die unless I switch out. So now I send in my Lopunny as he goes for another Energy Ball, hoping to take it out, but Lopunny does have pretty respectable defenses, and it's not going to do that much since Grumpig is not the best of special attackers. So now we Thunder Wave each other on the same turn, and now that we're both paralyzed, and Lopunny can't really do anything, and he's just going to proceed to use Energy Balls on this Lopunny and kind of whittle away at its HP. But this is a Healing Wish Lopunny, and it's just going to use the move, and Healing Wish is very powerful in 5th generation because it makes them miss the move if you go first, and then it just heals something right all the way up, barring PP. So, now Energy Ball, very obvious. I'm going to send my Carnivine to resist the hit, and since he's paralyzed and can't really do anything, and I'm just going to go for a Swords Dance. I can't really Sleep Powder because he's paralyzed already, and if he decided to switch out, I could just kill something with a Power Whip or a Frustration very easily. And the normal grass coverage is fairly nice because it hits everything on his team for at least neutral damage. But his Ampharos is going to outspeed my Carnivine, get off a super effective hit, and Carnivine is going to die from a super effective Signal Beam, but not after it takes its Ampharos down to a very sliver of HP. So, now, not wanting to really predict anything, I decide to use for Toxic there because it'll kill the Ampharos anyway, and if he decides to switch out, it's something free Toxic on something. So now his Taurus is going to revenge kill my Seismitoad with a Life Orb Sheer Force boosted Zen Headbutt. So now, he uses the Rock Slide, and I'm looking up in a pretty bad position right now. I have 2 pokes left, and one is Octillery, the other is a Specs Simisear, and he also has his Wartortle, very good defensive Pokemon, and I can't really do anything to his Wartortle aside from using an Energy Ball, which is actually a very reliable way of taking down Wartortle. So he goes for the Aqua Ring. I haven't really seen Aqua Ring at all on Wartortles. It doesn't seem very reliable to me, and I just used 2 Energy Balls to take out the Wartortle. Since it is Expert Belt boosted, it will take it out, no problem. So this Taurus is going to come, and it's going to use Zen Headbutt, and I'm surprised they didn't use Return, Thrash, or Frustration as a reliable form of stab, and instead he's using Zen Headbutts, but instead, I'm just going to be able to bring in my Simisear since he didn't take out my Octillery and take it out with a Flamethrower. Even if he did have the Return or Thrash or something, I would have been able to bring in Simisear, use Overheat, and take it out with a Specs boosted Firepower. Anyway, until next time, until tomorrow, I will upload another Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi, Black and White 2 Wi-Fi battle. And until next time, toodaloo. And please enjoy your stay and your meal at the Marriott hotels.